Hey, what's up? Welcome to DGen Ed. That's degenerative education, meaning none of this is financial advice. Just me having fun looking at charts, like the chart behind me, which is of Tilray Brands, ticker symbol TLRY. And so here I am recording this on the evening of Wednesday, October 2nd, after Tilray closed at a price of $1.68, being flat on the day and continuing flat in the after hours. And so in this video, I am going to be going over the daily chart of Tilray. I also did want to look at some stuff on the minute time scale. And then I am going to look over at the unusual whales options data for Tilray, just kind of evaluate that, continuing this journey, doing this every day leading up to earnings, which are going to be on October 10th. I do have a very small position in shares and also a small position in calls. And so my position is that I think that Tilray will be breaking out to the upside, but I could be wrong. And in the process of documenting this, the data from unusual whales and from the charts here could prove me wrong. But I'm not risking a lot of money with this, so it's not a big deal. And I should note before I do get further into this video, not only is trading stocks risky, but trading options is very risky, especially around earnings. This is, effectively gambling. So do be very cautious, whatever you plan to do. I am really just doing this so it reinforces my learning and utilization of unusual whales. And I thought I'd document it for you guys so you can learn from either my mistakes or my successes. And so in this video, I've done a couple videos on Tilray yesterday, and so now I'm following up on it. And so here on the second, it does look like we hit a low of $1.65, but then did close flat at 168, hitting a high of 169. And so a level that I was talking about in yesterday's video was this uptrend, but I was thinking about that, and I recall chatting with one of you guys, I believe during a Ticker Request live stream Sunday nights, 9 p.m. Eastern. I believe I was going over the chart and I noticed, oh man, that would have been a nice dip buy, but I don't think any orders were filled because I think that was kind of a blip right at market open. And so because of that, I did want to take a look at the minute time scale and go back in time. It's going to take me just a second to scroll back there. Sorry, I've got to kind of do this, one day at a time here. The moons and the suns, we're seeing them all scroll by, and we should be able to find this blip of 150 at some point. I should have noted which day that was before doing this. But anyways, we're just having fun. I'm scrolling back in time, and hopefully it's just a couple of days away. Let's see, where is this? Where is this drop? It's got to be right around here with us testing that red line. Where are we? Wick down, wick down. Maybe I should have done this initially starting looking at the maybe 10-minute time frame and then gone back to the 1. But yeah, it's got to be very soon, very soon. I will try to talk over this, so this is hopefully not too boring for you guys. And I should also note, I'm probably not going to be editing this just because I've been at work all day. I'm tired, and I did put out a poll for a GameStop video, or for a video, and it was voted that I should do a GameStop video. So I'll probably do that after recording this. And so here, yeah, this is that line that I was interested at, that dip. It was the wick at the open on, let's see, it looks like August 12th. So yeah, just 1 minute, one quick wick down, not even a minute down there. It opened up here, wick down super fast, and then closed back up here. So I doubt any orders were filled down here. If you did have an order that was filled on the 12th that was below, 155, I'd be interested to hear about that. But, I just think that's a little peculiar. And so because of that, maybe this uptrending level that I have drawn based on that point is actually not so significant. So maybe I shouldn't be worrying about closes below it. But if it is significant, we didn't get a secondary close following this break from the 1st of August, which was at a close of $1.68. We got another close at that level. So not a confirming close, a close below that prior low. So I think that looks pretty good. Also, considering that this uptrend is really just based on less than a minute worth of data over here, I'm going to leave it up there, but I'm just going to gray it out so it doesn't stand out to us, because I think that these purple trend lines that I drew yesterday are probably going to be more important. We did close above that dashed purple line, which is right around, 167, maybe about a penny lower than current price. Open and close at 168, wicked below, respected that level, so I think that's good. And we didn't get down to this solid purple line. So I think that is pretty good. And so those two trend lines, let's just look at the pivot points. I did draw them yesterday, but I forget how I drew them. And so that purple one, it looks like it's based on, both of them are based on the pivot low over here of $1.50. Then the dashed line is going to be based on, that is the low from this day, March 14th, so Pi Day's low of $1.60. And then the solid purple line, let's see where that pivot point is. I believe that's over here. That is based on the low from June 26th, that low of $1.61. So two pretty important lows there, connecting with that one at 150. We are now trading above both of those levels, wicked below them. So that does make me feel like we are respecting support. If we started to close below, let's see, what was the low for today? If we started to close below 165, so 164 or lower, I would start to get a little bit concerned. But right now, I do think that this is kind of like dip buying territory. I think this fake out, breakout that we saw up here, wicking above, closing below that downtrend, I think that we will be retesting that downtrend before earnings. But of course, I could be wrong. It does look like the MACD is flipping red after today. So maybe that is suggesting that price is going to be going lower. So maybe a little bit of concern there, but I'm not too concerned. And then we also have the RSI here, which is at 43.19. It does look like, it's kind of pulled back, flattening out, though. Maybe we start to see it turn around and price go up higher to maybe test this downtrend around 177 tomorrow on the 3rd. So that is what I am hoping for, and I am hoping for a breakout either before or after the 10th when they do report their earnings. But, this trade that I am doing, which I will share my very small position at the end of the video, but I wanted to get into the unusual whales data. I have not looked at it at all today because I have been at work all day and I don't typically look at this stuff. So here, what we can see is this is Tilray Brands from October 1st. As you can see, I have not looked at this today. Excuse me. So I am just going to refresh it and we can see what the data looks like for today. So this is 1 day options volume, call and put volume with the 5-minute candles. And so we can see that, put volume was 3.3 thousand, whereas call volume was 17,000, over 17,000. So that's a lot of call volume. And we can see that the premium traded for puts was around $77,000, whereas with the premium for calls traded today was about $249,000, $249,000 premium traded today. So, that's a lot of money, and it's a lot of money on the call side. So that does make me feel more confident. It would be nice if this was in the millions of dollars. I'd feel a little bit more confident. But with the stock that's trading below $2 a share, this does seem like a lot to me. And so for today, the second, we can see that the total volume, so not only the puts, not only the calls, we can see that the total volume traded was 20,367 with a total premium traded today of $325,000 and $956. $326,000 effectively traded today, but with a net premium increase of $136,000. So that does suggest to me that this is still bullish. This is still looking pretty good. And, there is this data that's over here that's behind me, but I think it's kind of like nitpicky. That is a lot of the stuff that I went over here and will go over, so I'm not too concerned about it. But one thing that does look pretty encouraging about this for today, 66% on the bullish side, whereas, bearish was, I don't know what percentage that is, but it is, notably, it's less than a third of the trading today because a portion of that is neutral, about 29,000 contracts versus 80,000 bearish, 216,000 bullish. So, looking good, as far as that stuff goes. And then if we do look at the, let's see, the hottest contracts, that's not what I wanted to look at. Oh yeah, I'll look at the specific contract that I'm holding in a minute. But before I do that, I did want to flip this over to the 7 days just so we kind of get an idea of what's been going on. So it was a few days ago on September 30th that we did start to see, so that was Monday of this week. Is that Monday? Yeah, that was Monday. And we did see this pretty big candle that was a volume of 25,000, almost 26,000 contracts, candle premium of over $250,000. Majority of that being on the call side. And over the past 7 days, we can see up here that about 15,000 puts have been traded, so 15,000 in volume, whereas calls, we see 192,000, so much more as far as calls go. Premium with the puts is 321,000, whereas almost 5 million premium for calls. And these, for the most part, do seem like they are being held. So I still do think that this looks bullish, but maybe, all of these people are wrong. And, that's quite the possibility because millions of dollars are lost every day in the market. And so with these earnings, this could be $2.5 million getting lost on those calls. So quite the possibility. But, from here, I am going to look up the contract that I hold, which I did mention in yesterday's video, which is the $2 strike calls that expire on November 15th. So I guess that is a little precarious. Somebody did mention this in the comments that is right after the election. So maybe there would be some turbulent times around cannabis, but I do think that there would probably be some states legalizing cannabis either for medicinal or recreational purposes. So I think that there will be some bullish news around the election. So even if we don't see the stock price rally, around earnings, we could see something either leading up to the election with rumor of some legalizations here and there, or perhaps following the election, depending on what the results are. In all honesty, I don't know which candidate is more favorable of, the cannabis sector. But I think that it is something generally in the U.S. That we are making progress towards making it more legalized, whether that's for medicinal or recreational purposes. It's just getting more broadly accepted, whichever side of the spectrum you're on. And so this is data, though I should note, from October 1st. So I am just going to refresh this window so we can see data from the second. And it actually looks like for this contract, we did see bid volume, which is, more on the sell side, 443 contracts, whereas just a little bit more than that on the ask side. And so while there is this pretty big candle here, we do see a number of spikes in smaller candles throughout the day. And I should note too, looking at this on the daily time frame, this time is in the central time zone because I am located in the Midwest. I don't know how to adjust that, so sorry if there's an inconvenience there. But the market here opens at 8, closes at 3. On the East Coast, it opens at 9. And 9:30, I should say, opens here at 8:30, opens on the East Coast at 9:30 and closes at 4 p.m. But anyways, what we can see with this contract is it was more or less flat on the day, right around 10 cents. And we can see that the average fill was 10 cents. And we can look at some of the data here for today. That is up here. We can see the total volume, 962 contracts, and there's an open interest of 17, almost 18,000 contracts. And the premium on this is, for the day, traded about 9.5 thousand, 9.4.5 thousand. Premium on the day. But the thing that we can look at, well, actually, before I scroll down, maybe it's good to look at this chart. This is showing that, price was more or less flat, right around 168, but dipped down to that low of 165. And with that, even though price was more or less flat during the day, call premium in general, that's the green line here, that went up over the course of the day. So even while it was pretty flat around 168, call premium went up, put premium went down. So that does make me think that the trend is your friend. This is going up. That is looking good. And then if we let's see. I'm still getting familiar with scrolling around unusual whales. So I just want to look at this data, what we can see here. Maybe this is a little bit discouraging, but this is specific for this contract, which is, dated more than a month from now. So maybe it's not too hot of a contract. I could definitely see that. But what we can see is, as far as the ask to bid ratio, we can see that the majority, which is highlighted, while it does, 49% may not seem like a majority, there is some on the neutral side. And so I guess that, on the neutral side puts this in favor of the bulls, with the ask side being 468 contracts versus 443 on the bid side. So, but really it is kind of just like neutral on the day. The premium traded today was lower than yesterday. It was also lower than Monday. We see, 54,000, then 16,000, and now 9,000 traded. But we could see, looking over here at the open interest, we can see that it has been, fairly steadily been increasing. But then from the 30th to the 1st, we did see a spike up, an increase of 3.3 thousand contracts, going from around 14.6 thousand up to 17.9. And, that was with, volume traded then yesterday on the 1st of 16,600 contracts traded on the 1st. But we actually saw a decline in the open interest, going from 17.9 to about 17.8. So maybe that is a little bearish, but I don't think it's too significant. We did see a bigger drop here in the past, so I'm not too worried about that. And just thinking about this contract, I feel pretty proud, because I'm not sure exactly what time it was, but I did, get a fill at 9 cents today. I added one more contract to my position. So I feel pretty good about that. And this, the data for this contract in particular doesn't necessarily get me super excited about Tilray. I just think that an expiration more than a month from now, being for the monthly contracts, and also being, following the election, I think that there is a lot of potential catalysts for Tilray, whether that's earnings or the election, or just leading up to that election, rumors of legalization in certain states. And one thing I might do before I close this video, I'll first go over my position, but I might want to look at the... Actually, I'll do that before I look at my position, but I want to look at the max pain for November 15th. So I actually have another tab over here. These are some alerts that I got today. I guess if you're interested, these are some that stood out, but I don't want to really waste time with this video. I am actually, because I'm still learning unusual whales, I don't want to, let's see, I don't want to lose that tab. So I am going to go, I'm just going to go, let's see, I want to go to resources, and I want to look at the Greeks. And so in order to look at the Greeks, I've already got Tilray pulled up here. This has some information here. I am not too familiar with the Greeks. I am familiar with theta decay, and that time decay. But what I really just want to look at is the max pain, but not for this coming Friday. In all honesty, I could care less I couldn't care less about the max pain for this Friday. I want to look at the max pain for November 15th. and that's actually 1. So that's not looking so good as far as me being long Tilray. But the more you know, the better. So I just wanted to go over that. But yeah, I mean, this is the thing that really stands out to me. The predominance of green here. I think that this is looking good, and even with, let's see, this is the. Let's see the underlying. This is the premium. Or what's he know? That is the price. Yeah, that is the price in yellow. Even with this price coming down, we do see those calls going up. So I think that looks pretty good. So I'm just gonna flip back to Webull. And just want to reinforce that I do think that the wick down that we saw today, I think that shows strength, especially because we closed above. I guess this is the primary level of support that I would consider, that I want to see us holding above, with the secondary one down here. Or maybe I have that reversed. I'm not sure. But this is the first line of defense. This is the second line of defense. We closed above both of them. So I think that's looking good. It also does, it looks kind of like a cross there. That, while we didn't open and close at the top and bottom, or at the top, that would be like a dragonfly doji, and that would be very bullish. That this big wick down, so just buyers stepping in, pushing it higher. While we didn't close or open at the top, we did open and close at the same level. Very small wick to the upside, so that makes me think that we could be putting in a bottom here. So I feel good about that. And with that being said, just like I did before, like as in yesterday, I'm just going to share the position that I have. Again, it's very, very small because I just really want to be doing this to document. And so I do have 10 shares, a very small amount. Actually, I'm going to put this up here so we can see, my thesis with that is, buy 10 shares at 169 and then put a stop loss on it. So I kind of have a gauge of, whether I'm in too deep with these calls, or, if I should cut my losses, or, if I want to just continue to hold them through earnings. And so my stop loss level is kind of based on this low here of 162, but I just take it down 2 cents lower at 160. I have a stop loss set for all 10 of these shares at that level. If I do lose out, I lose 90 cents, so it's not a big deal. But then that just kind of creates like a little alert for me that, oh, maybe I want to reconsider these calls. And so I did add one contract to my position today, just based on limits. I was at work, so I wasn't paying too close attention to the market. And this was a fill at 8:58. You might say, hey, that doesn't make sense. The market wasn't open then. This is Central Time. That's just how I keep track of my trades. And so, 8:58, 28 minutes after the market opened is when this order was filled with a limit placed at 9 cents. I also have another order placed at 8 cents. I'm probably just going to leave it, and I have not done it yet, but I might add another order for 9 cents tomorrow, just to kind of get my average down. My average is, if we look at the, actually I'll do this in Webull. If we look at the options contracts, so calls that you can see up here, and I want to look at the expiration for November 15th, as you can see where the cursor is. And coming down to the $2 strike here, the average buy is 10 cents, so 9 cents, a little bit lower than that, and 9 cents is what I would sell it at. So if that spiked up to 11 cents, I could, trim out of my position. And so I do have some limit sells placed at about 20% and I think 30%. For 2 contracts, and then I would remain holding the other 2. I think I might have one at 100% based on my initial buy, which was at 14 cents. So I do have a limit sell at 28 cents, and I think I have one at maybe 12 or 13. It's on my phone, so let me just check 1 second so I can let you guys know in case you're curious. Just scrolling to it. I do my trades on my phone, so that's why I check, because I'm at work usually. I do have a limit sell at 14 cents and a limit sell at 16 cents. I might adjust those down just to be 20, 30%, and I'll probably have a 40% limit as well, because I do have 4 contracts that you can see here that I will trim just because I'm at work tomorrow, and I don't want it to wick up really quick, not, take the risk off the table. And because I really just want to be doing this to be documenting it, to see, if my understanding of the data from unusual whales is valid, and if this does end up being a money-making play. And again, I am only risking, as of right now, $45 plus $17. So, I am not good at the mental math. So I am just going to pull up my calculator here. So I am currently risking, $45.20 plus $16.90, $62. And, really, I'd feel comfortable losing, or putting on the table about $100. So I'll just continue to accumulate calls. I don't really plan on buying more shares. Just because this, for me, while I do think that there is a lot of upside for cannabis sector as a whole, and I think Tilray is a good performer, also their market cap being above 1 billion, that does make me feel a little bit more confident in them. Just getting into the smaller cap plays, I think it makes it a little bit risky. While I am, I do think there are a lot of catalysts for this to be going higher. This is just a swing for me, really around earnings. And so my hope is to, capitalize on some upside if we do get a rip here. But if it does drop, you can see that from, this contract that I do have, more than a month following earnings to either cut my losses or wait for a bounce. And so if it does go down following earnings, I might, trim some of those contracts, but then maybe hold one to see if it does reverse before the 11th. And, at that point, I would only be risking about, considering my average, I would only be risking about $11. So no big deal there. But yeah, like I said, I'm feeling really good about this. I'm looking forward to seeing what the data looks like tomorrow, whether that's data in the daily chart here or from unusual whales. But, that is pretty much it for this video. And as usual, those are just my thoughts. If you found them helpful, make sure you like the video, share your thoughts in the comments down below, and make sure you subscribe to the channel for more videos like this. Thanks a lot for watching, you guys. Take care.